Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, and it is day 30 of our 30-day challenge. But in essence, we are doing 31 days because there's 31 days in January. So tomorrow will actually be our last day of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. My name is Dawn, and this channel is Dawn Does Keto. If you're new here, this channel is all about following me and my personal journey on the ketogenic diet. This morning, before I head out, I just want to do a quick review of what I put in my fat coffee. I've had a couple people ask, and a couple people ask about the egg. Yes, it is one raw egg. If you have not tried an egg in your coffee, I highly recommend it. It just gives your coffee like a really nice frothiness. So I'm gonna show you how I make that. The first thing I do is I put 2 tablespoons of butter in my cup, and then that way when I'm brewing the coffee, it brews over top and melts that butter. Okay, and once that is done, I'm going to add 1 scoop of unflavored collagen, 1 dropper full of KetOH-IO electrolyte drops, and then I'm going to add 1 raw egg. Now I know for some people getting past the raw egg can be difficult, but guys, just give it a shot. You can't taste it. It doesn't taste eggy at all. It just gives your coffee like a creaminess. So then of course, I take my frother, and I blend everything up really well, and I will show you guys. And there is the inside of my cup. And as you guys can see, there is the froth that's on my drink. It's crazy, and it's so good. Now I'm just going to take my electrolyte tablet for the day, and I'm taking a vitamin D3 K2 tablet as well. And I'll show you real quick what I'm packing in my lunchbox for the day. I have my coffee that I just made. I won't break my fast until noon, and so I don't drink my coffee until then because of the butter and the egg and everything that's in here. That does break your fast, and so I will hold off on having that. I've had a couple people ask. If you want, you can always have black coffee in the morning. That will not break your fast if you are doing intermittent fasting. I have 2 bottles of water that I have added electrolyte drops to, so those are ready to go. I have 2 hard-boiled eggs, 1 baggie bacon, and 1 baggie of brown butter bites. And that is pretty much what I take almost every day in my lunch. So that's it, guys. I'm ready to go. Off to help my mother and father-in-law, and then I will leave straight from there and go work, and we will see you guys back here tonight, probably around dinner time. Good evening, everyone. It's Monday.
Oh my gosh, don't even say that.
Yeah, and it's been a Monday.
It has been a Monday. It has been a manic Monday. It's been awful. I'm not going to lie. I don't generally think Mondays are bad. Days are what you make them. But today was terrible from start to finish. Literally, right now is the best part of my day right now.
Well, it should be. You're with me.
And that's why. I haven't seen her all day. Normally during the day, we chit-chat back and forth. We send messages, blah, blah, blah. Not today. It was so busy and so hectic and stressful. I only got to say good morning to her, and that was it.
Yeah.
The whole day. It's just not been a good day.
And I was out it started in the rain this morning and ended in the snow.
Oh,
and
my
the
gosh.
roads are starting to get really slippery.
Northeast Ohio. Look, I've never had a problem with Ohio. A lot of people complain about it. It's got a lot of wonderful qualities. Not going to go into them now. The weather, because it changes so much, because we have the seasons, is one of the reasons I like Ohio. I like the season changes. As we get older, we hate winter. In the last couple days, it's just been gray, gloomy, and miserable.
Well, let's show everybody real quick what we're having. I'm having like a weird dinner. It's a steak and then egg life wraps with egg salad. So it's a lot of egg.
And I'm just having steak because I don't eat egg salad, and the egg life wraps
I heard someone
okay.
on a video today talking about egg salad, and it made me want it.
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny because I know you like that, and this is day 30, and you've not had any egg salad the whole time.
I know.
So it's kind of weird. So before I put food in my mouth and then answer any questions that are thrown my way.
Well, you know I'm going to ask you what you ate today.
Right. So yeah, it was such a manic day, such a busy, hectic day. I didn't eat anything today. Nothing. I drank like 2 sips of water out of my full cup of ice cold purified water, and I ate no food, not any food, not at all. I'm starving. However, I will say this, if I was still eating a strict standard American diet, I would have probably gotten sick. I would have been so hungry or felt so hungry, and I probably would have gotten a really bad headache, and I didn't get that.
You were able to go all the way to dinner.
But I was able to go until dinner. Yeah.
I mean, you're hungry, but
right.
You
but
don't
there's
feel
a difference.
bad.
Yes.
Right. That's a huge difference when you're not eating the carbs.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Roast and steak. I could eat those not every day, but oh my gosh.
And these were our last 3 steaks. If you guys remember us talking about, we bought a bunch of steaks back in December because we knew we were going to be eating them in January, and they had like a deal on it. We were hoping they would last all the way till the end.
They did.
These are the last 3.
I have to say I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Okay, the lunch that I did pack for today, I will now get to eat tomorrow because I didn't eat it today. So if I don't have anything left over from my steak tonight, which I doubt, then tomorrow I will have lunch.
Yeah, because last time we had steak, you ate it all.
We ate it all,
right?
yeah.
And because you haven't eaten today, so.
Right. It's going to work out perfect, actually.
So real quick, guys, my friend Jackie at Jackie's Jinx Journey sent me some pictures today, and it was a snapshot from our video, day 1, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And then the second picture was a snapshot from Saturday, our video that we did the day of Olivia's birthday party. So they're 28 days apart. And she was just like, I can't believe the difference that this short amount of time has made. Like,
right.
Your eyes
it's
are...
a facial picture, so it's not a full body shot.
No, it's just a snapshot from the videos is what it is. But she said, you know, your eyes are brighter, your skin looks better. And so I'm going to insert that picture right here so that you guys can see it. Again, we've talked about this before. We never see the changes in ourselves, because we see ourselves every single day. But then when you see us side by side like that, then you really, will notice a difference.
And guys, those of you watching that have significant others, you know that when we tell them they look good or wow, we notice a difference, a lot of times, at least in my situation, I just get an eye roll.
Because we don't believe it. It's not that I don't believe you feel that way. I just don't feel that way about myself.
Right. But I'm just saying that but when you hear it from somebody, a third party, in this case it was Jackie, and then she sends you the pictures and you actually can see it, then you realize that it's making a difference and that you have definitely changed.
Right.
Physically changed. And your face isn't as round, it's more defined. I mean, I thought those pictures were fantastic. It amazes me because I see you every day. That those changes are subtle. And it's not until you see a before and after shot, just like with our weigh-in, that's going to be great because it'll be a snapshot of an entire month where you were and where you are. And I'm excited about that too.
We're on chapter 26. One more day on beef, butter, bacon, and egg, and one more chapter in Dr. Berry's book.
So this chapter, the last one we had about the whittle light lies.
The whittle white lies.
Whittle white lies. About the little white lies. This one is not the typical chapter in a book.
I think he's done with that part. We're kind of through all that.
But this chapter was great. I just found it even more informative. I mean, there was a little bit of entertainment in it, but it's kind of like a recap of what we read.
Right.
And it just reiterates some things that I think we all know. But first, a word from our sponsor.
We don't have a sponsor. Don't say that. We are not sponsored.
I just thought that sounded cool.
So Dr. Berry titled this chapter of the book, Do As I Say and Do As I Do. And he starts off talking about if your doctor seems to be unhealthy, overweight, doesn't look like he takes care of himself, why are we taking health advice from somebody in that condition? They're telling you how to lose weight and how to be healthy, but
and they're not.
And either they're not trying or they're doing the things that they're telling you to do and they're wrong.
And they're wrong.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. And Dr. Berry says in 2008, he just basically finally realized that he was fat, he was unhealthy, and he was unhappy. And he spent 5 days a week teaching people how to be healthy.
Healthy and hopefully happy, yeah.
Right. So he says he had always been an athlete. So when he realized, he woke up one day and he's like, I'm overweight. He started doing the typical thing. What do? You go and you work out, right? And he worked out for, what did he say?
Well, he started running because
Yeah.
he was a runner. So he started running again.
He didn't really change his diet, though. He was just running, like on a treadmill or something like that.
He believed the same thing that we've all been told in
Calorie
the lie.
deficit.
Calorie deficit,
and
and that exercise will help you lose weight.
Right.
He said at the end of a month, he actually gained 1 pound.
Right. He was up instead of down.
So he knew something was not right with that formula.
That's when he really started digging deep into reading different books. He did read a book on low fat. He read the South Beach diet, the Atkins diet,
And those kind of opened the door
the
because those.
paleo diet, primal blueprint. And he started seeing things in those books that made more sense to him. So he says you can basically summarize the concepts in these books with these statements. And I'm just going to read them real quick.
This is a great list.
We humans have been on this planet an incredibly long time. For 99.99% of that time, we never ever ingested grains, sugar, or milk. We never drank fruit juices or high-calorie drinks. We lived mostly on fatty meat and green plants, seeming to prefer the fatty meat when we could catch it. To get the health, mind, and body we want, we must honor our past way of eating and living and realize that our DNA hasn't had time to catch up with all the starches, sugars, and grains we are taught to consume in modern life. Your DNA responds to unnecessary sugars and starches by putting them right where you don't want them as adipose tissue in your belly, butt, and thighs. Your body also puts this adipose tissue in your liver, where it can lead to abnormal liver function and severe liver disease. And many people, I'm sure that's included in there, is fatty liver, because we know a lot of people who have dealt with that.
Right.
Including my friend Chris. I did an interview with her on my channel, which I will link up above. She reversed her fatty liver when she went keto. This is probably something that you hear about a lot.
That probably happens all the time.
Right. So Dr. Berry's just basically saying that it's in our DNA to eat this way and that we need to honor our DNA. He says your DNA craves this kind of food and it knows how to use it.
The body doesn't understand when we give it the sugar, it doesn't know what to do because it's not programmed for that. I'm interested, and I know we have some more things to cover in this book, but I'm interested in maybe finding a resource about sugar, a book that we could read, maybe possibly read on the channel, that would deal with the addictive properties of sugar and how it affects the brain, what makes us want it so much.
Well, it's so funny that you mentioned that because some subscribers have commented that they wish we would pick another book, and even if we're only talking about it once a week, so obviously it would take a lot longer to get through it, but just to have, to talk about another book because they've enjoyed
book time with
right.
Mike and Dawn and Mike.
Story time with Mike and Dawn. So anyway, if you found one, or if somebody could recommend one, we could always look into that. So he says, honor your human DNA, honor your diet. It's an old saying, garbage in, garbage out, but he says that it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Your body is what you eat. And he even says he knows not every single thing you eat is going to be pristine.
Mm-mm. No, but you really have to be aware of the things that you're putting in your body. And that's why when we talk to people about this, it's not just about cutting out sugar. I mean, that's a big deal because sugar is a huge issue and a huge problem in this country. But all the other processed chemicals and ingredients that are in foods that our body has no use for, and it just causes more problems.
It doesn't even know what to do with it.
Mm-mm.
It's all been created in a lab. So the next thing he says is honor your environment. He's talking about environmental things like smoking cigarettes, drinking unsafe water, unsafe food additives, which we've kind of touched on. Simple things that you can protect your environment. He also touches on avoiding BPA. It's in certain food and beverage containers, and when you heat them, it releases the toxins into your food and drinks. And we had heard this before, and Mike and I have switched all of our containers from plastic to glass, at least especially the ones that we are going to if we're going to put them in the microwave or heat them or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple plastic ones that I use for storage if I throw something in the freezer, but for the most part we have switched all of our storage containers to glass, and for that reason.
Right. And they last longer either way. I mean,
Right.
plastic breaks down, glass does not.
So he also says honor your activity. So we did talk in one chapter about how exercise isn't necessary for weight loss, but Dr. Berry even reiterates it here. It's not the best, most effective way to lose weight, but we need daily exercise. We need to move. It's good for your body. It's good for your mental health. Our ancestors moved a lot, walked around a lot, lifted heavy things, and that's what we should be doing.
I used to play sports as an adult early, in my 20s, even into my 30s, all the time. Even when we had the kids, I would go play basketball 3-4 times a week. I still play those sports, just not as much. Played football regularly, played softball a lot. We're on a volleyball team now. And I'm sure any of you that have done any kind of regular physical activity know how it just feels good when you get done and your body feels alive, your mind feels alert. It's just amazing. And it's good for you to do that. Our bodies were not designed to be stagnant.
Right, to be couch potatoes.
No.
And he's saying, again, it's if you don't love the gym, don't make yourself go to the gym every day, but find something that you like and that you enjoy that will keep you active. He says, honor your lab work. So he's saying, you should regularly get your lab work done and have standard lab testing done. He kind of thinks that some of the lab work that they do is unnecessary. Is that what you kind of got from it? Routine lab work can just detect issues early. So,
and especially as you get older. If you do it routinely with a doctor that you trust, I mean, that's a big part of it. And some of the information that we learned about some of the things to look for, some of the tests to have done, doing that will be a benefit to you because it will help you keep track of the progress that you're making. And your sister, as an example, you got to have it done.
And along with that, he talks about to honor your need for screening, and that is, screening for cancers. Go have your mammograms, get your female body checks, get your male, your prostate, all those types of things that can help you catch something early if there is something going on, to make sure that you're doing that. He says, honor your telomeres. So I've heard about this a little bit, and I know it says here, telomeres are little areas of DNA at the end of your chromosomes. It appears to protect your DNA from damage and quite possibly help keep you from aging more quickly than necessary. Your telomeres over time shrink. They get smaller, and you want to slow that process down. And things you can do to help slow that process down is to avoid smoking, processed food, toxic chemicals, bad stress. You just want to keep them from prematurely shortening, is what he's talking about. Honor your mitochondria. He calls them little powerhouses inside your cells. They give you energy. It's the same thing. Your diet helps protect your mitochondria. If you don't protect them, they become weak and sick, and they'll start to dwindle in numbers.
He also says with the mitochondria and I believe the telomeres that there is new research being done. Like it is a new branch of medical research that's going on. They're learning a lot more about it. So he just touches on them because they haven't even scratched the surface yet.
Yeah. I think I listened to a podcast that was really about all that, and that's why it's, kind of in my mind. I've heard it talked about. So yeah, it's definitely becoming a more popular subject. Honor your stress, the amount and type.
So you just touched on something that I found in this chapter to be really, really interesting, and that is stress. And you said bad stress. I didn't think there was a such thing as a good stress and bad stress, right? And now that I think about it, I've read it, it makes sense to me, but I never thought that. So that's one of my big issues is stress.
Yeah.
Bad stress. I mean, I generally try not to let things bother me, but unfortunately, I'm not wired that way, and so things do bother me. And it affects me negatively, not only in a mental state, but in a physical state. So when I read this, I was really interested because, bad stress, and there's examples, and I'm sure Dawn will go over those. We need more good stress.
We all know what bad stress is. It's, work, relationships, negative thinking, our lifestyle. Well, not our relationship.
Oh, ours would be good stress?
Sometimes. your lifestyles, negative thinking, those are all bad stressors. Good stress are things that really make our mind work. Dr. Berry lists things like difficult games, puzzles, sports, learning new things, and going new places. Those are considered good stressors. We're trying to up our good stressors by buying our camper and traveling. Of course, sometimes when we're in the car together and traveling in traffic, that might cause a bad stress.
So yeah, the financing of the camper was bad stress, right? And then the traffic, right? Because I hate traffic, so that's just not good.
And I've never been a good passenger.
She was, but again, as we get older, things change. That can be an issue, but we've kind of traded the good and the bad, the good for the bad. But we're hoping that in the long run, it will bring us more good stress. And that is time together, time away from things that cause bad stress, and hopefully then some new adventures and meeting new friends.
So the next thing he says is to honor your gut bacteria.
It goes back to talking about the unnecessary use of antibiotics and some of the foods that have the probiotics in them and stuff that we try to, we think are helping, but they're really not.
Yeah, not to use those.
We have all of those bacteria for a reason. They have a purpose. They serve a purpose.
It's good bacteria.
And we need to let them do their job.
And then lastly, he says, honor your sleep. And this is an important one for us because for many, many years, I've never gotten enough sleep. I was always a night owl. I would stay up all hours of the night and I never got enough sleep. Since I started keto, we have tried to make that more of a priority, making sure that we're getting to bed at a decent hour and that we're, getting a good, at least, 7-8 hours of sleep. Now, Mike was really struggling with sleep after his dad's accident when he was working at his previous job because he had to be up at 3:30 in the morning, going over and helping his dad at night and then getting home not until, getting to bed till between 10 and 11. He was lucky if he got 4 hours.
Right.
And it was just really burning him out. So I'll just tell you that a couple things that Dr. Berry recommends as far as helping with your sleep is to ensure that your bedroom is as dark as possible. It should be cool and comfortable. And I know when we get too warm, it wakes you up.
It wakes us up every time.
He says, and these are things that we don't have, but things that he suggests, consider having only red light on in your bedroom after dark and wearing blue blocking glasses. Now, Mike and I, one thing I will say is we don't have a TV in our bedroom, so we don't lay down or go to sleep to a TV. Sometimes I will watch, if I just don't feel overly tired and I just need my brain to unwind a little bit, I'll put something on my phone and I'm more just kind of listening to it than watching it. And even last night I put something on and I don't even know, it didn't take long, I fell asleep. But we don't have it in actual television, so because our bedroom is for sleeping, really not for laying in bed and watching TV. If we want to watch TV, then we can do that downstairs.
Yeah, we can do it downstairs and fall asleep on the couch just as easy.
Right?
Because that's what I do.
He always does.
But I think what he's talking about here too, and it's funny that you bring up the fact that we don't have a TV and you will periodically get on your phone.
And I don't do that every night.
Our phones have become our TVs. I mean,
Right.
that's the reality, right? We probably watch our phones more than a TV in probably every household. And we do both sometimes. The light from that phone is probably, you always say that you watch your phone or something on your phone to help you unwind, but I don't necessarily think you're really unwinding.
Well,
I think that the blue light that he's talking about creates more
I get that,
mind
but
issues.
for me, I'm one of these women, I lay down to go to bed, and if I'm not overly tired, my brain will not shut down. I will lay there and think about, okay, what's going on tomorrow? What do I need to do? What's on my list of things that need done? I have a wedding that I'm planning, so I'll have things for the wedding going through my head, or for the shower going through my head, or a birthday party. So we just had Olivia's birthday party. I usually help plan those, and then we have another one coming up in April. We're already starting to plan that for my other granddaughter. My brain just goes and goes and goes, and I cannot relax. Whereas I feel like if something's playing and I'm kind of focused on that, it makes my brain shut down a little bit. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, but he makes comment in there about white noise. Have some kind of white noise so that it's not deathly quiet, because then you actually start focusing more on just the little creaks and the wind howling. You hate the wind when it howls. Mm-hmm. So you do have to have a little bit of white noise. And so
for me, it almost is like white noise.
I guess what I'm getting at is if you are just listening to it, it probably works out great. Mm-hmm. If you're watching it, it could cause a little bit of
I sleep with a sleep mask on, a black sleep mask. And a lot of times I'll have my phone on, I'll have something on, and I'll be listening, but I have the mask on, so everything's dark.
Our bedroom only has one window. Our bedroom is in our attic.
And it's dark up there.
It is pitch dark, and we love it because
like if we have stairs that go downstairs, and he has a little flashlight he has to use to go down the stairs. Otherwise he'll fall because it's so dark you can't see.
But we love that because I think that has been a good thing for us as far as sleep goes. And another thing about your bedroom. So Dawn, you made a comment that your bedroom is for sleep. The bedroom should not be a place that you associate with anything negative.
You should never work.
In your bedroom. Right, you shouldn't do any, if you bring your work home.
He says you should engage in only pleasurable activities in your bedroom.
That's right. But the point he's making is that if you do things in your room, if you argue, if you are doing a lot of bringing home bad stress from work and doing that in your bedroom, it's not going to be a place of comfort.
Right.
You're not going to go in there and then feel like you're able to relax. And our bedroom is, because it's on the 3rd floor, and we don't go up there except to go to bed. Change our clothes maybe, but so we don't do anything in our bedroom that would bring any kind of bad stress or negative stress into, our life.
We'll just wrap it up with this because this is the last thing. Sleep is the last thing he talks about. He says, during sleep is the only time your brain activates the glymphatic system, which cleans, repairs, and renews your brain. Honor your sleep and protect your sleep environment. That's it. That's all he wrote. Well, we have one more chapter. He wrote more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting full.
You're almost there.
I have a couple more bites of my steak. And obviously I did not eat all my egg salad, so I'll have to eat that later. That's it for tonight, guys. This is technically day 30 of day 30.
Only because you typoed the title on the channel.
Well, that's because beef, butter, bacon, and eggs has always been like a 30, 60, or 90-day challenge, not a 31-day challenge. But because January is 31 days, you guys are getting a bonus.
Yeah, see? It's a good thing.
Yeah. Tomorrow's video, I'm just going to warn you guys, maybe a little bit shorter. We are doing that interview with Ready, Set, Keto tomorrow after work. So it's going to limit the amount of time that we have to prepare dinner, eat, and record.
Right.
And talk about the last chapter in Dr. Barry's book. So we're going to have to kind of keep that short. But Wednesday, February 1st, not only does it start the Love Keto, Love Yourself challenge for me, but it will also be our results day.
Yep.
So all of our results and our final weigh-in and everything will be in that Wednesday video. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the bell notification so that when the videos come out, you'll be alerted.
You won't miss a thing.
Have a great night, guys.
Good night.